Welcome back. This is the third lesson video for week 4 of IM2 distance learning. Now we're going to be talking about inscribed angles. To do that, we are going to revisit arc. Now, what do we remember is the arc? Arc is just a portion of the circumference, the outside length. But so far, we've measured arc in length, but we can also measure in degrees. It's one of those things that it has either can be measured in length, in inches and centimeters and so on, or it can also be measured in degrees. Its degree measure is the same as the corresponding central angle. So for example, if you have this circle, the central angle measure is 87 degrees. For arc DC, we can say the measure of arc DC is 87 degrees. So it's exactly the same as the central angle measure. So then let's look at the vocabulary chords. If you did your homework, then this is one of the vocabulary that you came across. A chord of a circle is a line segment, both of whose endpoints are on the circle. What does that mean? It's a segment of a line, and it has a beginning and an end, and the beginning and the end has to be on the circle. So it's a straight line that begins and ends on a circle. So this is the notation PQ with the line at the top. Okay, it's a chord. This is the line segment notation, right? Okay, now let's contrast this to PQ with this curved line on top. Okay, what does that mean? This notation is used for PQ as an arc. That means PQ with the round curved line is this referring to the arc, while as this PQ with a straight line is referring to the chord. A new vocabulary called inscribed angle. You should be taking notes at this point. An inscribed angle is formed by two chords with one shared endpoint. The angle's vertex must be on the circle. So that means that it's two chords. The chord PQ and RQ, they're both chords, but they share an endpoint, the point Q. And the angle, the vertex must be on the circle. So this is the inscribed angle. This blue angle is called inscribed angle. And that point, the vertex, has to be on the circle. That's the definition of inscribed angle. And we say that angle PQR is an inscribed angle. Let's try it now. Okay, this is where you get to try which one are chords. Which ones are chords? Okay, you have 6 choices. Quickly just jot down on some piece of paper which one of these are chords, and there are more than one answers. So please jot down the letters. I'll be showing you the answers in a minute. And here it is. Hopefully you said B is a chord, C is a chord, and D is a chord. Why? Because chords start and end on the circle. Start and end on a circle, start and end on a circle. A does not start at a circle, so it starts at a center. And this is starting outside the circle, although it goes through the circle, and this segment is completely outside the circle. What about this? Which ones are inscribed angles? Remember, inscribed angles are made by two chords sharing the same vertex, and the vertex has to be on the circle itself. So which ones are the inscribed angles? Please jot down what you think are the inscribed angles. And hopefully you said B, E, and F because they end, the vertex end on the circle, and on the circle, and on the circle. Here the vertex is the center of the circle, vertex is in the middle of the circle, and vertex is outside the circle. So these 3 are the inscribed angles. Now let's talk about notation as well as measurements. So this is how we write measure of arc RS. Remember, when you write measure of angle ABC, we're really talking about measure in degrees. So this is the same thing. When you have this little m, think about degree measure. Okay, so degree, the unit will be degree. So RS, where is RS? RS, this is the arc we're talking about. What is the arc measure of RS? That will be 145 degrees. Angle DBE, angle DBE. Okay, so it's asking you for the measure of angle DBE. Well, we know that the arc measure is 117 degrees, so the central angle, which is angle DBE, has to be the same as the arc measure. What about this measure of arc JK? Arc JK is we're referring to this. Do we know what the central angle is? No, not right now, but can we figure it out? Yes. It's 180 minus 115. Why? Because this is a straight line and we know this angle is 115. And so this angle has to be 65 degrees. And if this central angle is 65 degrees, then the arc measure has to be 65 degrees also. Now let's talk about inscribed angle, central angle, and arc. How many central angles correspond to arc DC? So if you consider this arc DC that's labeled, highlighted in red, okay? Central angle, the definition of central angle, it needs to, the vertex is at the center. So if that is the case, can you create another central angle? No, you cannot, because that's given DC, there is only one central angle that you can create. What about inscribed angle? What's the definition of inscribed angle? If you have arc DC, you create another vertex, say here, and that would be one inscribed angle. Is that the only option? What if you moved it over here? Okay, or move it over here, move the vertex anywhere. So there are infinite number of inscribed angles that are possible given this arc DC. So, and we say that inscribed angles intercept the arc. So inscribed angles, this angle intercept the arc DC. The word intercept, it's the same word that's been used for x-intercept and y-intercept. Now think about, what does x-intercept mean? That's where the graph crosses the x-axis, okay? In this case, this is where the vertex is crossing or is touching on the circle, okay? So this is the inscribed angle intercepts the arc. Okay, we're going to consider the relationship between inscribed angle, central angle, and arc. So all the inscribed angles, central angles, and inscribed angles. Okay, so what's the relationship between all the inscribed angles, the blue angles and blue angle? Is there a relationship? Is there a relationship between this blue angle, the inscribed angle, and the central angle? That's the second question. We're going to go on to exploration. So if you're in the class, I put this link on the chat. You were supposed to click on it and you were supposed to try to follow these instructions and explore some of the relationship. So please do that now. Okay, so at this point, you should have GeoGebra open. I have it on my right, and we are going to follow the instructions. And it says to move the point E around. Does the location of point E affect the inscribed angle measure? So this is my inscribed angle here. So I am going to show my inscribed angle. Here we go. That's my inscribed angle. Let's show our intercepted arc. Okay, so that has been highlighted. That's my arc. That's my inscribed angle. Now we can move this around and look at the measurement, 36 degrees. If I move it anywhere along the circle, what happens to the angle measure? Okay, it doesn't matter where it is. The angle measure is set. Is it always 36 degrees? No, it really depends on the arc measure. So if I move that, the arc is getting bigger or smaller or bigger, and look at the inscribed angle. It is different, right? But for a given arc measure, the inscribed angle stays the same. Okay? All right, so then let's explore the second question. What is the relationship between inscribed angle and the arc measure? Okay, we just said that. So arc measure now is 97 degrees, okay, in this case, and the inscribed angle is 48 degrees. All right, I'm going to move the arc measure a little bit so that it's even, so that you can actually see it. Okay, I made it in 100 degrees. So now I know that this is 100 degrees, which also means that the central angle, what's the central angle? That's the same thing, it's 100 degrees also. Okay, now let's compare this measurement to this measurement. Do you notice a pattern? Okay, let's move this around. It's always going to be 50, 50 and 100. Okay, what's the relationship? Could be double. Okay, let's test some more. Let's change this to, say, 76 degrees, 38 degrees, 38, 76. You see the relationship? Let's change this to some number that's easy. 70, 35. What do you see as the relationship? Hopefully you're telling me that this 70 degrees is double of the inscribed angle. So the central angle is always double the inscribed angle, which means the arc measure is also double the inscribed angle. So that would be the relationship that you might have discovered. Okay, now let's see. The third thing we are asked to do is move point C so that CD becomes a diameter. So move CD, so now it becomes a diameter. That means I need to make it all the way. And how do I know it is a diameter? Because this angle is 180 degrees and it's going through the center. It's making 180 degrees. Okay, what is the inscribed angle measure? Okay, so this is the central angle. And what is the inscribed angle? It's 90 degrees. Let's try moving the point E. Looks like it doesn't matter where I go, it's always going to be 90 degrees, which is pretty cool, right? This is so. So let's get back to the slides and let's summarize what we've just discovered. So the fact one, we've discovered that all inscribed angles for the same intercepted arc are congruent. That means that if you have this, for the given arc AB, the intercepted arc, the inscribed angles are my angle ADB and angle ACB. It does not matter where the vertex is on the circle, it's always going to be congruent. Okay? So angle C is congruent to angle D because both angles intercept the arc AB. So given one particular arc, it's always going to be the same. Okay, fact 2. An intercepted arc has twice the measure as the inscribed angle. So that means that measure of arc AB, okay, is twice the measure of angle ADB, which is the inscribed angle. How do we know? If it was 25 degrees, then arc AB would have the measure of 50 degrees. Then fact 3, a triangle with a diameter as a side must be right triangle. So remember the last exercise, we made it into a diameter, and then given UV is a diameter, if UV is a diameter, then measure of arc UV would be 180 degrees, and therefore angle UTV is its inscribed angle, and it's always going to be 90 degrees. Okay, so I am going to stop it here, and the lesson will be continued on the 4th recording.